Namaste everybody, my name is François Gauthier. I'm a French journalist and writer. Many of you know me. I have been defending India for a long time, both in my articles, my books, and I'm building a museum of true Indian history in Pune. Today I want to talk about the World Cup football in Qatar, which just ended. I'm a football fan. I used to play football. I don't anymore because it's a little tough on the knees and it's a dangerous sport. It's okay when you're young. I still play basketball though, and I do enjoy playing at my level today. Now, this World Cup football was very interesting for many reasons. First, because it was quite extraordinary. The finals between France and Argentina was outstanding. Both the teams were outstanding. I feel the Argentinians played better and they deserved to win, though the French gave also a very good show. And it was a nerve-wracking final that we all watched very intensely. Now, this World Cup football was also very interesting because first it was hosted in Qatar. Now, we have to give credit to Qatar for giving a very good show. I mean, it was very well hosted. The venues were world class, and the final, of course, as we said, was also very well hosted and gave a very good show to the world. Now, Qatar, as you know, unfortunately, is also a harborer of Sunni hardline Islam. It actually exports and sponsors a lot of movements, a lot of organizations which are very fundamentalist. And Qatar uses football for that. You know, Qatar owes Paris Saint-Germain, the best French club, of which the brilliant Kylian Mbappé, which is a very brilliant and outstanding player, the Messi of the future, is a member of that Paris Saint-Germain team. Qatar also owes Manchester City, the best English football team, which topped last year and might also again top this year. Now, using football to further Islamic fundamentalism, in my mind, is not the right thing to do. It is not sports-like. And we saw in Qatar that the Qatari crowd was very partial, unfortunately. It used to boo, it booed loudly all the white teams, all the non-Muslim teams, and it cheered madly for the Muslim teams. What also was a little sad was that when Morocco played, both when it won against Spain and when it lost against France, there were riots all over Europe, particularly in France. You know, my family in Paris was told not to go out the night that Morocco lost to France, and it also there were riots in Paris when Morocco won against Spain, and there were very bad riots all over France, not only when Morocco lost to France, but even when France lost to Argentina. For what reason, we don't know, but we do know that those who rioted were French Muslims from Morocco, from Tunisia, and from Algeria, countries that France colonized and of whose the grandsons are today in France. So the riots were not, again, not in the spirit of football, and very unfortunate that Muslims chose to riot when their team loses. What I would like to add, to be fair, is that it's also karma. The fact that France colonized brutally African countries, France and Belgium and Holland and other countries, of course, colonized brutally and exploited African countries, is also karma that France is repaying today. The anger that the youth, the Muslim youth, the French Muslim youth feels today, it's because they were colonized, and also because after France gave reluctantly back their independence to Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia, France employed as low-class laborers and coolies many of the grandfathers of the Muslim youth of today, and they were not only underpaid, but also they were looked down upon. I remember when I was a kid that the French people used to call the Arabs who worked as coolies Biko. Now, Biko is a word that could be loosely translated as goats, but goats, in a negative manner. So, of course, France is paying that karma today, and the resentment that the Muslim youth have towards France, even if though themselves are France and France give them shelter, is also because they're angry at the treatment that France gave to Muslims, both when they colonized them and also after independence. Actually, it's even more complicated than that, because today in France, and I know it is true also in other European countries, some of the avant-garde, some of the actors, some of the stand-up comics, some of the film directors, some of the writers and journalists are Muslims. We see today in newspapers or television channels like CNN or BBC that much of the staff are Muslims, and brilliant Muslims at that. But the problem is that Muslims all over the world, and it's got a beauty in it, they put Islam before their country. That means if I'm a French Muslim, my first faithfulness, my first allegiance is to Islam, and my second, sometimes far away behind, is to my country, is to France. So this is a very unfortunate matter, and the karma that karma could be stopped now. Okay, France is repaying their karma, Holland is repaying its karma, Britain is repaying its karma of having colonized so many countries, including India. And Islam is reaping that karma. There is a good karma to Islam, that Islam is coming up now in many ways, socially, sports-wise, petrol-wise. There are many Muslim countries which are coming up. There are many Muslims in the world which are coming up. So they're reaping the good karma of having been exploited, but they create a bad karma again when they riot. The fact that French Muslims and Dutch Muslims and other Muslims rioted when Morocco lost is again creating what the Dalai Lama called the black karma for Islam. So instead of putting a stop to that karma by accepting that there are other religions in the world, and while I remain a true Muslim, I respect these religions. I don't attack them, I don't try to convert them. Islam is going on trying to convert the world to Islam, sometimes by violence, by terrorism. So Islam is creating a bad karma for itself, as the French and the Dutch and the English created bad karma by colonizing these countries. So to put a stop to this karma, Islam should be at peace with the world, make peace with the world. But this is not happening. We saw in that Qatar football club that it is not happening, that violence is something that Islam holds dear to itself, and the need to convert. We saw that the Moroccan footballers, when they won against Spain, they went on TV and said, "Come to the true religion, come to the win, come to the truth, come to Islam." So this is wrong. This is not what football is. Football is about bringing people together in joy, and losing or winning, it's about rising above this losing or winning. But this didn't happen, and in my mind, it is very unfortunate that Muslims all over the world, including in Kashmir in India, they put their religion before their nationality. They have no gratitude toward the country where they live and we give them shelter. So my prayer is, after this World Cup, and we saw some extraordinary matches, that Islam comes at peace with itself and comes at peace with the world. And the answer is there in India with Sufism. Sufism is the soft side of Islam that accepted, that incorporated some of the other religions of the Vedanta, of Hinduism into Islam, and made it a softer and a more beautiful Islam. So if Islam can come to peace with itself, it is there in India with Sufism. Namaste.